The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Where does this leave those who do not fear God? Do they have no access to wisdom? What is this wisdom that we speak of? And what exactly do we mean when we say the fear of the Lord? Do we mean that people should be terrified of God? God is the creator of heaven and earth. He is awesome. If one were to see God, one would be terrified of him. God is certainly intimidating. Should one be terrified of God? Should the one who wishes to live according to the commands of God be terrified of God? Should fear motivate a person to believe in God? Should fear motivate a person to live according to God's wishes? The Bible does mention the word fear. The fear of the Lord. But what does it mean when it says fear? I think it means respect. Excessive respect. Honor. Reverence. In the highest degree. I think that's what the word fear means. The fear of the Lord, therefore, according to me, would be the respect that one gives for the wishes of God, the honor that one pays to the commands of God. And those who do this, those who respect God in this manner, are said to be at the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And what wisdom is this? Is this human wisdom? Is this the wisdom of the earth? Is this the wisdom of learned men and women? Is this the wisdom that is recorded in books written by men and women? Or is it a totally different kind of wisdom? The wisdom that is being spoken of here is the wisdom to understand the essence of life. The essence of life is this: that we are put here on earth by our Creator to live for Him, to live in order to know Him, to live in communion with Him, to live loving Him, to live serving Him. This is the wisdom, at least this is the essence of the wisdom that is being spoken of here. And one never realizes this wisdom until one fears God. If one does not fear God, one will be left with the feeling that this life does not make much sense. This life doesn't make sense to those who do not fear God. They do not see any worthy purpose in life. Maybe the most worthy purpose that a person who does not believe in God can find is to to serve his fellow men, to serve others in the world. And some unbelievers in God may well be very good servers, or very good servants who serve humanity. But I do not believe that there are many of them. Most unbelievers, most people who do not believe in God, have no idea regarding life. They don't know why they are alive on earth. They have no worthy purpose except to serve themselves. And even that they do not know how. They serve themselves in all the undesirable ways. They are so self-centered that they cannot think beyond themselves, and they don't know what they need. What a person needs most is a connection with the one who created him. What a person needs most is a connection with God. And this is something that is hidden from those who do not believe in God. Those who do not fear God apparently do not feel the necessity to connect with Him. It is not something that they are even aware of. They search for that vital connection in various inappropriate places. They try to put other things in the place that only God can occupy. Thus, unhealthy habits, even addictions, develop. The things of the world cannot occupy the place that only God can occupy. And those who attempt to fill that place with worldly things will discover the futility of such devotion. I myself, before I became a believer in God, was drawn to the world. I was drawn to certain things in the world. I placed these things in that position which only God can occupy. Soon I developed addictions. I was addicted to the world. I was addicted to a certain facet of worldly life. And this particular addiction brought me a great deal of pain and suffering. It slowly degraded me. It gradually weakened me. And it hardened my heart and made me incapable of seeing the truth. But I was blessed. I was blessed to finally consider the possibility of God's existence. I was blessed to finally think about God. I thought about Him, and I prayed to Him, received answers to my prayers, and slowly I began to read about Him. And as I read about Him, I also increased in my affection for Him. Initially, it was affection. The affection grew into love. And love became a consuming passion. That is why I stand in the sun despite the sweat, despite the insects feasting on me. I stand here in this undesirable place, in this undesirable situation, to express my faith, to express a message that it is only the fear of the Lord that leads one to wisdom. I believe that I fear the Lord. I fear Him. I respect Him. I honor Him. That is the reason why I stand here, to speak for Him, to speak about Him, to speak about what He has done in my life. This, I believe, is the fear of God. And the fear of God has led me to wisdom. Wisdom, according to me, is to realize that I am meant to live for God, that my life will have no meaning if it is disconnected with God, that there will be no worthy purpose in life if I did not serve God. Serving myself, even serving others, will not be enough, will never satisfy me. But to serve God, to know His heart, to do what He wants me to do, to speak about this transformation that He has effected in me, that, for me, is the most meaningful thing about life. And that, for me, is the essence of God's wisdom. To know that God is supreme, that He is the creator of all living creatures, and that I, one of those living creatures, cannot live my life satisfactorily without seeking Him, without being connected with Him, without loving Him, without serving Him. This is wisdom. That I appreciate every moment of my life, that I live every day rejoicing in the gift that God has given me, using that gift to glorify Him, using that gift to serve Him. I glorify Him and serve Him by telling others about Him, by letting you know about what He has done in my life. This is what the fear of the Lord does to me. The fear of the Lord certainly is the beginning of wisdom. I don't believe I know everything that God wants me to know, but I know this, and this is the very essence, that I cannot be without God, that I must be connected with Him, that I must serve Him, that I must tell others about Him. And those who do not fear God, those who do not even admit the existence of God, they have no access to this knowledge. They have no access to the wisdom of God, the wisdom that I spoke about, the wisdom that I enjoy, the wisdom that every child of God enjoys. And this is certainly not spoken in arrogance. It is spoken in joy. It is spoken in acknowledgement of God's goodness. And it is my prayer that those who refuse to believe in God today, that those who refuse to fear God today, will not always do so. As I was called, as I was mercifully called to God, as I was brought to Him, may they also be brought to God. May they also feel that urge to get back. May they finally see what they were meant to see. May they finally realize what they were meant to realize. This is my prayer for those who do not fear God. May they also fear God, and may they be led to wisdom.